Yes,
Good morning. Oga Edward, good morning.
Good morning, Madam Professor.
I not talk say this matter, you know, the mathematics and for the figures in the enter your head well. And I not say no feel wait to help us explain according to the law how it be say INEC go you spend this money as the lawyer where it be say you be, and of course human rights activist where it be say you be. So you don't see as you use Shelley now. INEC out of the 305 billion naira budget so they bring out for the year, they don't talk say that 239.2 billion naira. Now they go use run election, including materials and all of that. Which you make over? Make a first ask you, Edward.
See, from the top of the whole thing, because sometimes when it comes to issues like this, it'll be like waste of time to begin enter deep, begin think, okay, why this one happen like this, why this one happen like this, why this one happen like this. We don't already check the numbers, you know. Out of like when I talked before, for this country, we always get excuses and reasons. We start make up excuses and reasons. We always get excuses and reasons to inflate prices. So if market woman or normal trader for markets, when they plant a tomato for our backyard, they'll tell you that because of dollar or inflation, I make the cost of our product the rise. Why if you say INEC not do the same thing? So sometimes it's actually a waste of time to begin discuss all these issues. Now, one question I want to ask, since 2015 election to 2019 election to this particular election, man, I even enter this election. Maybe all the by-elections will not happen from 2019 election to now. How many times we don't sit INEC down to ask questions as regards procurement? How many times? How many times would they actually sit down to probe INEC on how these monies were spent?
If I go answer that question, Mr. Edward, remember, say sometime in 2020 or so, House of Representatives been talks and make INEC return about 73 billion naira from 2015 election. You remember?
Yeah.
So
now,
I mean that because checks and balances.
No, you know, say that one are in-house. That one are with them. I understand say they represent us, right? But we want to really ask these questions as Nigerians openly. You know, after every election, submit a document. I understand that they can be doing these things, but in this country, we have trust issues. We have trust issues, not for ourselves, but trust issues with the government. Because how it be say 2019 election, we buy vehicles. You know, say for this budget, the money for vehicles.
True.
Yes, operational vehicles.
How it be say for 2019 election, we get election materials. Now, as people they vote, so they carry the election materials to go out.
Okay.
Why will not they recycle election materials?
But Ogafini, remember, say every year for budget, so they buy utensils, kitchen utensils for presidential villa. Every year for government, when they buy motor and all that. You know, they ask yourself, the motor they won't buy before, what's happened to them? You know, on the system.
Now, the same question we don't carry point here now. So, INEC, now the same thing with them. Is INEC not supposed to be an independent body? Why would not they ever try?
Yeah.
They do some small management and economics for our government.
Okay, make we ask Oga Dotun, because as you did here, you just said they smile, they reason the matter. What do you feel about the situation? The money they increase, and we look calm, we see say, okay, maybe inflation fit affect the change of amount where INEC won't spend. How you take CM, Oga Dotun?
Now about 2 or 3 way thing, not be only one way.
Okay.
We get for our society, we say we get bad society. Then we expect small unit of the society, say they go dey different from the entire bad society. You know, to they work like that. What do we get for Nigeria, like my colleague don't talk now, what I call believability problem. People not believe their government because of the little wayo way government don't play over time. Not be say about INEC alone, not just a general thing for Nigeria. But make I tell you, as bad as it may look in Nigeria be today, the problem we get for Nigeria not be budgeted money. If INEC budget 500 billion, that one not be the problem. The problem they say you go budget this kind of money, at the end of the day, you not go see results. Now what you be that? For election, to spend 200 billion for election with the complexity within Nigeria, and to get fine result at the end of the day, my brother and sister, not be too much money.
Okay.
Because that 2 billion way they look, Naira state governor go corner in the name of security vote here and there taken from here within 8 years. They don't steal all the money. So for me, the problem not be even be about the budget. If we budget this kind amount of money for say we want to take and do election, and at the end of the day we follow through with security, we follow through with sensitive material, we follow through by not collecting money from wicked politicians where they bribe people to have the result where they not get. If we get this money, take do all of this, and at the end of the day, me and you fit sit down for inside studio, say we get the right election for 2023. Everybody go forget about the money. Now the celebration of the good election, now the mood will go there. So for me, not be just about the money, but this money, how are we going to put eye on it as media, as political party where I belong, as people where they on the street, say this money I don't collect now, you use them for the right this thing. I like the thing where you talk for studio. Since 2011, where I don't follow Nigerian budget. If you open the national budget, you go see place for cutlery inside Asoro. Yes. They feature. Now they call copy and paste budgeting. They ask yourself, say, they do party for Asoro, not the governors that they do there. But every year they buy cutlery. Now you are saying INEC budget one money for motor. No, the issue is that waiting they happen for big government or bigger government must to happen in small unit of the government. Wow. But not even this money, what it concern me, be how to help INEC. And the best way to help them is to be talking about it the way we are talking about it, so that we can have a credible election. Give me 1 million, make I tell you, say, all right. And I not just to forget, say, across the world, anything where it has to do with election, they expensive.
Okay.
Because if NURTW member, because all this motto where they talk about, not be all the motto they buy. Sometimes they rent motto. In Nigeria today now, we get about 176,000 polling units or thereabout. For sensitive material to get to all these polling units, usually they partner with NURTW where they give them motto. If NURTW they carry from my village to another village, ordinarily for 10 naira, once he hears say na election, he go increase to 100.
Wow, Oga Dotu. Yeah. Make I throw this question, give Oga Fini Brisby. One of the things where they bother Nigerians the most, talking about voting and all that, according to INEC, they don't project their plan. Say the commission go deploy more than 1 million permanent and non-permanent guys who will work with them ad hoc and all that. Now, just for the voting units, the constituencies. Now, Nigerians, they say more than 1 million workers. In other words, you don't disenfranchise all these people, they no vote too, because they go to work. So Nigerians, they look and say, it's not too much. What will be your own reaction towards this kind of line with this volume of people they want to deploy?
Okay, first things first. This issue we don't do for a while now. For the past elections, what we don't do. We don't get these issues of lots of manpower involved in electoral activities. And then why the issues of electoral voting and electoral transmission of votes come from. Right. Now, even though, say, if they considered for the recent Electoral Act, the INEC chairman already talked saying they would still have to make use of manual voting. And it brings me back to the issue of budgeting, because they still budget about 117 billion for technological activities. And all of that.
Yes.
So whether you like them or not, waiting to just happen at these discussions, waiting they want to do, they will still do. Because they're not really consider all these things like you talk about. They don't now disenfranchise people, when we can have it better. But at the end of the day, we can can start having these excuses of provision of employment for people and all the rest. But you have disenfranchised them. They cannot vote at the end of the day, and you are still going to pay them for the things that they are doing. Now, sorry, and while I answer this one, I must still come back to Ogadot and state this very clearly. The INEC now umpire, right? And as far as INEC now umpire, if the umpire for electoral activities for Nigeria not they create a standard for themselves, they are not supposed to form themselves as an arm of the executive. And not align and behave like the executive.
Yeah.
Because if Nigerians know they trust INEC, we will still have this difficulty of pushing Nigerians to come and vote.
True.
In elections. Nigerians have to trust INEC. The fact that the presidency will behave like this, not mean say INEC will come behave like that. Whether we like them or not, see, I understand because there is a particular amount attached to every voter. In actual fact, it has gone from $6 to $9, per voter.
So about $8 now.
There are some figures that are attached to voter. And it's a global thing. I understand that electoral activities are quite expensive. But the way we did for the country right now, if INEC can start saying, okay, we need to give dignity to these agencies so that Nigeria can start believing us. And people, when they come vote, political parties, when they come under us to come register and all that, as we monitor these things, we go use the eyes of integrity and dignity to follow up these elections. So if you can't look these numbers now, once you say, okay, we don't trust these numbers, we are going to just deal with them as we deal with the governments. And if you go into the streets of Nigeria, INEC is just an arm of the government as Oga which is not supposed to be. They are supposed to be independent. So they are not supposed to be
But Oga Philip Risiba, I not say he be lawyer, but you think say it really they possible for them to be independent. Taking that, now the executive now that appoints the people, they will everybody, including all the commissioners and the chairman. So if you say it's possible, say they will feel really they independent.
You don't put me there. You don't put me there. You have appointed me. You have appointed me. Not be the presidency they appoint judicial officers. I understand. Say the judiciary still they try to get better. But whether you like it or not, there are judgments that have been given against the governments themselves. Whether you like it or not. And if the judiciary in itself is not independent, as they struggle to make them be, then no one will worry about the country. All
right, so
it's the same thing with INEC. So INEC officials start behaving like politicians, and that is the issue when we get to now. That's why most of our elections still they fought.
Okay, so
what will be your response to that very word? We go like know your get thoughts. Your own response to waiting Breezy just talk now. So.
Make I even start with this funny story what happened to me from your question, Oshuko. My friend did they go to the House of Assembly. That's 2019. Not too young to run. Everybody they happy. So talk to a friend. On the day of the election, only for him to discover, say all his friends don't go work for INEC. None of them could vote for him. So I think say the major the issue of survival. You see, if country not be successful, put their countrymen in survival mode. So if I get what they call a voter card, and instead of going out to go vote, and I see somebody who will give me money to go work for INEC, I go package my voter card, keep it under my pillow to go and collect that money, because the thing is that everybody wants to survive. Once we get across this survival line, and everybody to a certain extent we can reason where the way the country been as we talk this morning now, not up to I don't want to generalize, but not up to 30% of Nigerians they really think well. Not be say me self I they think well. You think I they think well. By the time you see what they happen for your community, by the time you open your eye in the morning, see how many requests come up in the name of urgent 2K inside your phone for people no coffee eat. You're not going to be able to reason well. So me too, I'm not sure how they reason well. Until we create like where people go there a little bit, a better mode where they feel reason well. We go now do meeting, say, okay, I get voters card. If I may come, I'm not going to work for them because I want.
Okay.